Welcome to a world where nothing is quite as it seems. Welcome to Fake Britain.
Police officer, stand where you are. You're under arrest.
In this series, I'm going to be investigating the world of the criminals who make their money at your expense. And I'm going to be showing you how not to get ripped off.
Police officers!
Coming up, one of the largest ever fake gold seizures in the country.
If that was genuine products, you'd be looking at something between 10 to 20 million pounds.
And we discover the hidden dangers of wearing fake jewellery.
This is the one that really worries me. 3 peaks of lead.
Take a look at this lovely silver bracelet. It's a top brand name that a lot of people would recognise, and it sells in the shops for about £480. But if you bought this, even if it was at a bargain price, you would have been wasting your money because it's a fake. And fake jewellery, gold and silver alike, is big business in the UK, and the criminal gangs are making a lot of money from it, while we pay good money for something that is potentially worthless. And we've been following the teams who've been tracking down the fakers and revealing how they con their customers.
Okay, we'll get...
This is a team of police and trading standards officers in West London. They're on the trail of a man they think could be one of the biggest ever fake jewellery sellers in Britain. And in this secure West London lockup, the team are about to open the door on what they believe could be the largest haul of counterfeit gold and silver ever found in the UK. It's taken months of investigation to get them this close to the potentially enormous seizure. The footage you are seeing was shot by private investigator and former police officer Dave McKelvey. He spent months carrying out surveillance on this man. Dave suspects he could be Britain's biggest illegal fake jewellery seller, dealing in counterfeit, Lynx, Pandora, Chanel, Tiffany and many others. This may look just like a market stall, but it's the front of a major international operation selling fakes. The seller even has his own website.
He sells on a weekly basis at various markets. We've identified his storage facilities, which we believe will have a substantial amount of property within them. But I would think he's making somewhere in the region of £3,000 to £5,000 each market he operates from.
Dave believes that his target is importing counterfeit jewellery and watches from China. He's selling fake Tiffany, Pandora, Lynx and most of the major brands available on the high street.
He will deceive people into parting with their hard-earned money.
And later, we'll see the enormous scale of his operation as police and trading standards find out what's behind the padlocked door.
The latest Chanel, Bulgari again, who would know?
In one 3-month period, UK consumers spent £114 million on gold jewellery. But the most desirable high street brands don't come cheap. Unless, of course, you know this man. Earlier on, we saw how he is suspected of selling tens of thousands of pounds of fake jewellery. Tiffany, Lynx, Pandora, he's got the lot. He's even got a website and a market stall and authentic packaging. But he's no wide boy. He's running an international business in fakes. But thanks to a team of private investigators, the police and trading standards have enough evidence to arrest the seller at his house and seize all his fakes. Officers have his house surrounded. After 6 months' work investigating the suspect, they want to be sure he doesn't duck out the back. No one is answering the door, but the team are prepared. They brought a locksmith to get them in so they can carry out a full search.
Police officers!
And right inside the door there are bags of jewellery. If it's real, it would be worth a fortune. If they're all fakes, it's incriminating evidence. But a close examination by trading standards confirms these are all fakes. They'll be seized. And private investigator Dave McKelvey has made what he thinks is a key find: the trader's paperwork and computer files. This could be crucial evidence for proving the size of his operation and who was supplying him.
It's a very sophisticated operation, one of the most sophisticated we've seen.
But Dave's investigation suggests the faker has a lot more stock than this hidden somewhere. During his surveillance, Dave witnessed this West London locker being used for storage. Now the team want to get inside it. There may be fakes inside, but a piece of real heavy metal is keeping the team locked out, for now. It's full, but of what?
Camera. Lynx, Hermes, Patek Philippe, these would be the watches, won't they? Tiffany, Mont Blanc pens, Chanel, your Gucci's, Dolce & Gabbana, Tiffany, Versace, Bulgari.
The latest Chanel, Bulgari again, Hublot watch in a leather-bound case. That was sitting there. Who would know?
The haul is massive. It's one of the biggest ever in the UK. It's the result Dave McKelvey was hoping for.
I would estimate if that was genuine products, you'd be looking at something between 10 to 20 million pounds worth. It's a good result. It's 7-8 months worth of hard work. Lots of work went into that case, and it's nice that at the end of it you've got that type of result. And we've taken out an entire network involved in counterfeiting, involved in selling counterfeit jewellery.
In terms of jewellery and the value of the goods, or the retail value of the goods, this is probably one of the biggest seizures that any trading standards authority in the country has carried out.
And although the seller wasn't home, he later surrendered himself to the police to be charged. Later, the team take a closer look at the fakes they've seized, and there's much more to be revealed.
Nickels are carcinogenic. It's illegal in the UK.
Earlier on, we saw police and trading standards in West London seize what they think may be the largest ever haul of counterfeit jewellery in the UK. They know they've smashed a major operation that was importing fake goods. But what no one knows yet is what all the jewellery is actually made of. And it might surprise you. Dave Merry is head of training at the London Assay Office of the Goldsmiths Company. They were set up in the 1300s, and it's their job to test all precious metals and give them the official hallmark, like 22 carat gold or 925 silver. For a small fee, members of the public can have their gold and silver items tested for purity at any of the 4 main assay offices in the UK.
We're the oldest form of consumer protection in the country, and always have been by hundreds of years.
Some of the jewellery seized by Wandsworth Trading Standards appears to have hallmarks suggesting they are made of silver stamped on them. This would make a consumer think what they were buying was precious metal. Dave is going to test an item to see if the hallmarks on it are fraudulent and if it's not really silver at all.
As I suspected, there's a 925 sterling silver mark on here. Not the full hallmark, but a manufacturer's 925, which is just telling you that it's supposed to be 92.5% sterling silver.
To test what the bracelets are made of, Dave will use a touchstone.
It's the oldest form of assaying known to man. Still used every day at London Assay Office here. What we do is we rub a reference point on the surface of the stone. So this is 925 sterling silver.
Now Dave makes a rubbing with a suspect fake bracelet.
Now straight away I can see there's a problem here. We have a sterling silver rubbing, which is obviously a white metal. The necklet's supposed to be silver. It's actually coming up as a red rubbing on the surface of the stone. We have some silver sulfate that we add to the touchstone. And this is a very easy test because this is just showing me that anything that turns black with the acid literally is base metal. And as you can see here, we have a nice black stain right in the middle of that rubbing for the necklace. The test is telling me that this is obviously definitely a piece of base metal, probably been silver plated, but we'll do a further test on this.
This machine will analyse the content of the metal, and so Dave will know exactly what the faker was selling.
What's happening here is the X-rays hitting the chain that we're trying to test, and what it does is it excites the molecules in the metal. Now remember, this is supposed to be being sold as a silver piece, and there we have a very nice tall copper peak with a smaller zinc peak and a little tiny nickel peak. Nickels are carcinogenic. It's illegal in the UK to plate anything with nickel. It can bring you up in a very heavy rash around your wrist or your neck if you're wearing it very close to your skin. Very cleverly and very craftily, what these guys do is, just so you don't go taking them back after 2 weeks, it's been given a nice little coating of nickel, which is very hard. So in 2 weeks' time, you haven't worn through to that red colour that you saw on the touchstone, literally. And so by the time you take them back, probably 3 or 4 months' time, they're not there anymore.
It's a worrying result on the first test, but there's worse to come.
I think we need to investigate some of these charms that are on this chain anyway. Some of them look a little bit grey-coloured, which is just a little bit worrying, especially as they are supposed to be sterling silver. You can see there's many, many more peaks on this one. But this is the one that really worries me. PB, just for those who don't know, is lead. And as you can see straight away, we have lined up 3 separate peaks of lead. This has actually got a large amount of lead in it, which is detrimental to health, obviously, for lead poisoning. Okay, so our conclusions to this necklace are it's a piece of rubbish.
People buying the jewellery won't have realised they could be putting themselves in danger. Lead is toxic and particularly hazardous to children. It can cause brain damage and conditions such as anemia and high blood pressure. That's quite a price to pay for a bit of jewellery. And Dave has one other machine on the premises that's perfect for dealing with fake jewellery, such as this haul from a previous trading standards raid. When this smelting machine reaches 1500 degrees, it will melt most metal. And that's the plan for all this junk. As fake jewellery, this lot would have been sold off for thousands. But there's no gold or silver in any of it, just scrap metal.
Essentially, that's where it all ends up, straight in a smelting pot, melt it down, pour it, and that's it, in the mould.
Well, I'd say the trading standards officer's job's done.
Dave, you've probably seen more fake jewellery than anybody in the whole of the country. And we saw that fake jewellery being melted down. What did it turn out to be?
Well done. This is our efforts that we got. This is now turned into a nice little ingot, as you can see, worth probably a couple of pounds, be best used as a doorstop or a paperweight.
You brought a whole box of goodies here. Talk to me about what's in there.
One of the particular nice pieces is this 22 carat bangle. It just shows you how some things can come to light by accident. This was being sold in the jeweller's shop as 22 carat. Right. The jeweller himself believed this to be 22 carat. The weight is pretty good for 22 carat. It's quite nice and heavy.
Weighty.
Exactly. By sheer bit of coincidence, the young lady that happened to purchase the bangle decided that she wanted it made a little bit smaller. So the jeweller very happily sawed the end cap off the bangle, and straight away you can see there's a problem. Instead of being that nice, really heavily yellow metal bangle that it should be for 22 carat, it's actually a white metal on the inside.
So somebody has plated this with gold,
exactly,
presumably. Yeah. So is that a very deliberate ploy by the counterfeiters?
Exactly.
What else have you got in here, Dave?
This is another deliberate scam thing. This came to light a couple of years ago. What happened here is we had about 36 of these were brought into us by a second-hand dealer. These were bought in from his shops in and around London as 9 carat gold, because they bear a very nice, clean 9 carat gold hallmark in every chain. It's actually silver. The only piece of 9 carat gold on that chain is the plate that the hallmark is on. It turned out what their person's been doing is buying second-hand 9 carat gold wedding rings, sawing the hallmark out, inletting it into some of the links on these silver necklets.
So somebody out there, very clever, has taken a tiny piece of a gold ring with a hallmark on it. They've sort of welded it in here, for want of a better term,
right, yep.
And then coloured it all.
Exactly.
And taken it in, and somebody just looks at it, it's got a hallmark, and then they buy it.
Exactly.
What should people do if they think they've been ripped off?
We have got a customer counter that you can wander in. It doesn't matter whether you're a manufacturer or somebody you've just bought something. We get people turning up all the time with stuff that they've bought, and we run through the testing of the article and write up a Section 9 witness statement for Trade and Standards authorities.